students, it's Miss Devon and welcome to the garden. I'm going to take my mask off, but remember always to wear your mask even when you're in the garden. It's just a little hard to hear me with it on. So first of all, welcome. As you can see, one Bancroft family is welcome in the garden at any time. So if you haven't been to the garden yet, I welcome you to come and encourage you to do so. We have a lot of things that you can harvest right now. That means a lot of things you can pick, take home and eat. And I want to show you how and where to do that. All right, so come on in. So once again, one Bancroft family is welcome in the garden in each time. My videographer is my son Jack today. Jack, I'd like you to film this in Spanish too. So if you come by, one family at a time, please. That keeps everybody safe. All right, come on in. Like I said, all families are welcome to harvest one small bag of fruits and vegetables when you come to the garden. Just make sure you leave some for other people. So one small bag, bring a bag yourself. Look for the harvest here signs, but right now, pretty much everywhere you look, there's something to harvest. So come on in, take a look. The first thing you should do when you come into the garden is you should walk over to our harvest board. Remember, harvest means things that you can pick to eat. All right? So you're gonna look over at our harvest board and it's gonna tell you all the things we have in our garden right now that you can pick, take home, and eat. So the first thing that we have lots of are pineapple tomatillos. Those are those little tiny yellow tomatillos. They taste a little bit like pineapple, little like a tomato. I say it's like if a tomato and a pineapple got married and had babies. They would taste like a pineapple tomatillo. And those you're gonna find, let me show you right over here, on the ground. So this is a pineapple tomatillo plant. When they're ready to harvest, they're brown like this. You can also find them a lot of times on the ground. You unwrap them, you should find something that's light green or yellow on the inside. The more yellow it is, the sweeter it's gonna be. This one, for whatever reason, doesn't seem like it worked too well. See how it's all shriveled up? That one's not gonna be good. I'd throw that one back down. But this one should be delicious. It's gonna be a little bit sour, but it'll be good. So these are pineapple tomatillos. You're gonna find them all over the garden. You can pick up as many as you want. Just don't pick the green ones. The green ones, if it's still green on the outside, it's not ready. You want to find a brown one like this. This one's already been picked. Let's see. A brown one like this. And then you open it up and you'll find that on the inside. That one looks like it's perfect. Okay, let's go back to the board. So pineapple tomatillos. So you should always bring a bag with you to the garden. Something like this. And you can put your food into the bag. If you forget a bag, let me show you something. I put a whole bunch of plastic grocery bags right in there. If you want to, you can take one of those if you forget your bag. So, we still have some Swiss chard and some kale. It's looking a little tired, a little old, but we do still have some. We have a lot of lemonade lettuce. That's looking great still. We have beans. We have a lot of them, but they're kind of hidden, so you're gonna have to look hard for them. Some of them are a little high. Ask your mom and dad to pick them. The green beans might have climbed high onto some of our poles, but there we have a lot of green beans. We also have a lot of tomatoes. Those are also super hidden. So you're gonna have to get down low or look high or look in between the tomato plants. I'll show you how to do that. So there's a lot of tomatoes, but they're small and hidden. And then we have a lot of these herbs. We have mint, actually, we don't have any cilantro right now. Say, Miss Devon, you forgot that? No cilantro yet, because it's too hot for cilantro. We'll plant more in the fall. We do have lots of thyme, fennel, parsley, and oregano. Oh, I should have the basil. We have tons of basil. So basil needs to go here as well. Miss Devon makes mistakes sometimes. That's an example of we all make mistakes sometimes. I forgot to put basil on my board. But I'll fix that, I promise. So follow me through the garden. I'm going to show you how to find what to harvest. Remember to bring a bag. You just need your hands. Some people like to use scissors to clip things. I just use my hands. So let's start off here. Here you can see there are beans. So these are green beans. To pick a green bean, you grab the stem. So this is the stem, and you pull with your hand like this and take just the bean. You don't ever want to just grab the bean because it could tear this stem off the plant and then the plant could die. So you really want to grab, let me grab a high one up here because that's hard. Grab the stem and pull like that. Never touch the flower because this flower is going to turn into a new bean soon. Okay, that's green beans. Hold this stem, pull the green bean. Don't touch the flower. Got that? So we already talked about tomatillos, but if you look down in here on the ground, you can find some perfect tomatillos. See those guys? Those are going to be delicious. Look at that one. Oh, that one's perfect. So look down there. If they've fallen on the dirt, like those down there, like that one, and this one here. Yep, those are all perfect tomatillos. Take those, they make great salsa, or they're just delicious treats. All right, let's keep walking through. Notice that there's lots of things growing. We even have flowers in the middle of the path right now. So, here we have a lot of tomatoes. Tomatoes can be tricky to find, but they are in there. So you can see tons of green tomatoes. Those aren't ready yet. But if you come along this way, I will show you where there are some ripe ones. So if you look down here, I found a ripe one on the ground because this one fell down, but it's still perfect. Look at it. See, it's perfect. That's totally fine to take. This one here is not quite ready because it's still orange. And here are some bigger ones that are growing that are not ready just yet. We'll see if we can find some more later. People come and pick the tomatoes all the time. So come every day and you'll eventually find some. But they are a bit hard to find because people are here every day picking them. Let's see. Here is some sorrel. You remember sorrel? Sorrel is lemonade lettuce. So the lemonade lettuce you can just take like this. You can pick it just like that. Some people eat the stem. I usually choose to just eat the leaves. But you can hold the stem, pull it like that, and just pluck it off. Some people like to use scissors. I just use my hands to pluck it off. But remember, this stuff is delicious. It's sour, tastes like lemons. It's delicious and great on a hot day. Let me show you the, we have tomatoes right here that are ready. You look right here, these are all orange tomatoes. So with tomatoes, you just pull them off yourself gently, or to tip them. Those are good. Those actually will be good in a couple days. Here's a red one. Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're orange. Both of them are delicious. Red and orange tomatoes. Delicious. And there's tons of green ones. Just give them a week and they're going to be delicious. Let's keep walking. Back through here. Look at those are tons of tomatillos. So the tomatillo plants are starting to die, but these are all great tomatillos to have. Pick them up, unwrap them. The inside is perfect. That one is perfect. It's nice and yellow. Pick those up, put them in your bag, take them home. All right, let's keep going. See what else I can find for you. Here's more sorrel, more lemonade lettuce. Oh, this is something else that I don't have on my board. These are edamame. See these? If you've ever eaten these, soybeans or edamame. And these are perfect to pick right now. These green ones are edamame. Perfect for picking right now. And these are going to be okra. These are actually okra right here too. These are a little old, but these are going to be delicious. I'm saving these for the seeds for next year. More tomatoes up here. Let's see. This is another big tomato plant. You can see that the tomatoes are also a bit hidden. This is like a game of hide and seek for you guys. See what you can find. Some more tomatoes. People have been doing a good job of picking them, which is great. These here are our yellow tomatoes. So this one's actually ripe. This one too. So if you look at our harvest board, you'll notice that some of our tomatoes are yellow, some of them are red, and some of them are kind of a funky red color. So, over here, we have a different type of tomatillo. These are the more regular green tomatillos that you cook. So look right there, see that's a tomatillo, that one's ready. If you can see the green, they're ready to pick. So these are a different type of tomatillo. You can't eat those right now. You gotta take them home and cook them for salsa or soups, but those are ready too. All right, up here, so up at the top of the garden, show them where we are. Up at the top, near Newton Street and 18th, this is where all the herbs are, okay? This is where you're gonna find our fennel, our oregano, our thyme, our basil. So right here, this is called Thai basil. And we have tons and tons of Thai basil. If you see these purple flowers, that's where I want you to pick. I want you to pick anything that you start to see a purple flower on, because that means it needs to be picked. If you don't see a purple flower, you can still pick that, but it's not as big of a rush. Once you start to see the purple flowers, they definitely need to be picked, like that. You can pick a lot of this. You can see we have it everywhere. This is a flower, but all of this, basil, 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 basil. Down that way too. Look, you can see a little butterfly down there. Also basil. So we have tons of basil. This is where the thyme is. Thyme, this is the only thing that might be useful to have some scissors for, but you can use your fingers to pick this too. Just hold the stem and pluck off the top for the thyme. It's a little hard. So take the stem, pull it off, hold the stem down and pull it off. That's how you get your thyme. Hold the stem down and pull it off. Same thing with oregano. So this is oregano. Take the stem and pull it. Scissors are helpful for this. If you wanted to bring kids' scissors, that would be helpful for this. All right, keep going. So next week, we're gonna be talking about saving the seeds to grow flowers next year. So next week, we're gonna be looking for things like this, where the flower's gone, but you just have the seeds. We're gonna be cutting these to save seeds for packets. So that's next week. Here's some parsley that's left. There's a good parsley one. Parsley's coming back to life again. It got too hot. These are our big regular basil. This is Thai basil. Same thing that you saw way over there. This is regular basil. This is also delicious. It's starting to grow back. You can see it's been cut a lot, but it keeps growing back. It's safe. This is probably a good one to cut. So these you can use your scissors for, or just break it off like your hands. I'm going to take these bad brown leaves off. We don't need those. We had a little bit of a drought, and the plants got a little thirsty. That's why you see some brown leaves. But we just got a really good rain, so that should help. Before we go down, let me show you something we're going to have a lot of really soon. So this is a really unusual vine. You're going to see this vine growing kind of all over the garden. This is the biggest spot. I just saw some over there. There's some there. There's going to be some along the sidewalk. But this is a special little fruit. It's called a grape cucumber. So see how it looks a little bit like a cucumber, a little like a watermelon? You can just eat it. And the inside, it tastes like a cucumber. So there's going to be tons of these tiny little cucumber plants. These vines are very delicate though, so it's important that you remember, hold the vine with one hand and pull this with the other. There's another one. You can see another one back there. These are tiny, tiny little cucumbers. They're called grape cucumbers. They're delicious. You can put those in your bag or you can just eat them while you're here. There's a great looking tomato plant growing right here. Nothing is ripe on it yet though. So we'll have tomatoes for several more weeks. Okay. So we've talked so far, we've picked my bag. We have picked tomatillos. We have picked tomatoes. That was a tomatoes. We have picked sorrel or lemonade lettuce. We have picked a little bit of basil, a little bit of thyme, and a little bit of oregano. So these are all things that you can find in the garden right now. Oh yes, and we picked the beans. Let me find the beans. There we go. And we picked green beans. Those are all things that you can find in the garden right now. Let me show you a few more things. Also parsley. And remember those little tiny grape cucumbers that are delicious. There's still kale. Some of the kale looks kind of bad like this. If you pick this, you can notice there's a lot of brown on it. It's because it's getting way too hot for kale. So kale is not doing great right now, but you can still find some good leaves. So look around, pluck up the kale. That'll work, especially in soup. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just got a little brown. So if you're gonna eat it and cook with it, I would just pull out the brown part when you get home. Toss that part out and cook with this part. So the kale is still fine. Oh, what else? We have some peppers that are coming. They're not quite ready yet. Let me show you. Oh, this one just has the flowers yet. I did see some peppers yesterday though. This is another pepper plant. It is coming. Let's see, this might be the one. Oh yeah, this one right here. You can see these are some peppers that are coming. That is not quite ready yet. They're gonna turn red. The peppers are gonna be on our harvest board soon. A bunch of peppers that are coming. Also, a lot more pineapple tomatillos. Take as many as you want. Here's more kale. Notice there's still some bad parts, but there's also some good parts coming. So you can find a nice good green leaf. All right, keep looking. Also, there's lots of tomatoes. Keep searching. They're hard to find, but they are around. Also, the more often you come, the more likely you are to find them. There are people here every day picking the tomatoes. Let's see. Keep going. This is the Swiss chard I was talking about. You can use this like spinach or kind of like kale. This too is a Swiss chard. This one's been eaten, but it has those beautiful pink leaves. So this is Swiss chard. You can pick that just like you would kale or lettuce. So you would just, there's not too much, so I don't want to take any, but you would just pluck the leaves just like that. Hold the stem, pull the leaf. All right, that's Swiss chard. Let's look at our board. So far, we have found the pineapple tomatillos, the kale, we found Swiss chard, we found sorrel or lemonade lettuce, we found beans, and we found tomatoes. We also saw the mint, we saw the thyme, we saw the fennel, we saw parsley, and we saw oregano. Also, remember what goes there that I forgot? Basil. I need to put basil there. Let's go down to the bottom half of the garden, which we also have some things growing in. So it's a little wilder down here. But if you look in here, these are all tomatoes. So here you go, Jack. Let's look back in here. So this is a good example of how it's hard to find some of the things. But here are a bunch of good tomatoes back here. You see these? You might have to climb down, climb underneath there and reach up to grab them, right? Or ask your mom or dad. I'm gonna leave those for somebody else. But there's a bunch of tomatoes right there. That's a good color. Those tomatoes are specially made to be that sort of strange color. Keep going. Here's a tomatillo plant. Here are some beans again. So if you see anything growing up these tall plants, they're probably beans or tomatoes. So here's a whole bunch of beans. Tomato plants again. Back in the back there, growing up high, those are our grapevines. That they're just starting to grow really, really well. All right, it is about time for me to say goodbye. Oh, one more thing I want to show you. Here's another nice big tomatillo plant. If you open this up a little bit, you're going to see a tomatillo in there. It's not quite ready though. All right. Thank you, Jack, for videotaping. This is Miss Devon saying goodbye for now. We'll have another video next week where we're going to talk about saving some seeds. We're also going to talk about the insects and bugs that are enjoying our garden right now. I can see a bee right there. Look on my Canvas page. It'll have a harvest board for you to check out. It'll also have some instructions on how to harvest. So if you forgot, go to the page and you'll see a harvest board with more instructions. For now, I'm going to say goodbye, bye-bye, be well, and we'll see you later.